Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX and we have pre-market support marked here. And I normally go to the 30-minute chart. We have pre-market support here at 1441, resistance at 1560. I'm sorry, 1541, 1560, support and resistance for the VIX. As you can see, we broke down under that level of support to only find support at this 50 EMA around the 1517 area. Looks like we're bouncing off of this area. So our trouble places for the VIX are, if we break back above the 1540, just know that we could very well have trouble at 1546, again at 1553. If we break the 1553 area, we can come back and retest this 1560. So above this 1560 is really one of our trouble places because that's one of our resistance areas. If we break the 1560, just know that we could possibly have trouble here at the 1570 area for the VIX to the upside. And anything is possible. Above that 1570 area, we can come back to the 1620. Above 1620, we can have trouble around the 1663 or the 1678 to the upside. Now, to the downside, if by chance we should continue down, lose support here under this 50 EMA, which is around the 1517 area, just know 1514 is a trouble place or a support place for us. Again, at $15 and under $15, we can come back to this 1499 area or the 1489 area. So we normally look at the VIX kind of to just give us an idea of where the SPY is. So let's go look at the SPY, y'all. And it's interesting that SPY closed at 553.78 and we have made a pre-market low of 549.21. That is interesting to watch or to note, right? Because we're down, we've already gapped down for the day. So as of now, we have pre-market support was here at this 549.48 area. As you can see, we've traded in this zone here. Even though we made this low of 549.21, we bounced off this area, and as you can see, this was a previous level of support. So that's why I have so many different lines on my chart with this SPY, because that's one that I watch often. So as of now, pre-market support is at 549.48. Resistance was here, let's say around the 550.31 area, because we traded in this zone. As of now, we are bouncing, looks like, or continuing that support at the 549.48. So if we should bounce from here and move to the upside, where are our trouble places? If by chance we break above this 550.31 area, just know we're going to have trouble here at 550.44 and again here at 550.69 or 70 area. About above the 550.70, we're going to have trouble around the 551.12. Above 551.12, it brings us to this 50 EMA at 551.66, which is close, very close to this ATR trailing stop at the 551.63 area. So or 70 area. I would definitely watch the SPY in that area back to the upside. Now, if we continue down, which is what it really looks like it wants to do, right? So under this 549.18, we did make a little low here. So below this area, where are our trouble places for the SPY? So if we break the 549.18 where we are now, we could have trouble here or support at the 549.01, again at the 548.81 and the 548.68. Those are going to be support places for the SPY. I'm going to go to a higher time frame just so I can see that. See if we can pull out some more places of trouble places for the SPY. So below the 548.64, we could have trouble at 548.44, again at the 548.35, and these are just areas where the SPY has stopped out before or found support before. So those are trouble places to the upside and to the downside. We'll come back and do a recap of the SPY because again, we are breaking out of a gathering spot. So again, this is pre-market. When the bell rings, anything is possible. Again, I always say, y'all, nothing is guaranteed, right? So we are looking at NVDA. And NVIDIA has found support here pre-market at this 120.24 area. Resistance is around the 121.89 area because as you can see, we've been trading in this zone here under the 5 EMA. So where are trouble places for NVIDIA? Let's look to the upside. If we break back above the 5 EMA and break above the 120.87, just know that above 120.87, 121.06, and again at 121.14 and 121.45, those are going to be trouble places to the upside or resistance to the upside. If we break above 121.68, just know that we're going to have trouble at 121.80 or around that area, or the 122.11. Beyond the 122.11, we could very well have trouble here at the 122.60, which is the 200 EMA, which is close to a previous support area, which is now our resistance for NVIDIA. Now to the downside, because that's where it looks like it's trying to, bring us back to this area. If we break under the 120.23 area, just know that we could very well have support here at the 120.14. Below that, we can find support at 120.08, and I'm going to go to a higher time frame. 120.08. It's really close to this ATR trailing stop, which is around the 119.91. Under that 119.91 area, just know that we can come back and have support here at 119.62. Under 119.62, we can come all the way back down to 118.95, and beyond 118.95, we can come back to 118.54, or all the way down to the 117.87. So those are trouble places for NVIDIA to the upside and to the downside, and those are just general areas to where we could possibly find support. So I always say trade carefully, right? So we are now looking at AMD, and as you can see, AMD has it's breaking out of a gathering spot. I'm going to mark pre-market support at 152.14. Resistance we can say here at the 152.64, because as you can see, price just traded in this area. So that's 152.14 as support, resistance 152.54. Now it looks like we broke out of that area to the downside and made a low of 150.150, and it looks like we are continuing to the downside here, as you can see. So where are our trouble places? If by chance we should bounce back to the upside, we know that 152.14, 152.96, 152.56, and 153.05 is going to be trouble places to the upside. Above the 152.53 area, we're going to have trouble here at 153.86, which is forming an ATR trailing stop, as you can see here, right here at the 153.93 area. So those are areas of to the upside for AMD, and I'm going to say those again. Above 152.14, we have 152.64, 152.89, and 153.06. Beyond the 153.06, 153.98 to the upside for AMD. Now to the downside, where are our trouble places? It looks like that 151.41, we are breaking beyond that area. Are we going to continue to the downside is the question, right? So under the 151 area of where we are now, this low of this candle is 151.41. So under this area, we can find support here at 151.09. Under 151.09, 150.62. Now if we break under the 150.62, we can come all the way back to this area of 148.23. So those are places to the upside and to the downside for AMD if I traded AMD today. So let's go. We do have some inside day candles, and interesting, AMC is an inside day candle. So if by chance, I'll give the triggers for those, meaning if it break above this area, then the target to the upside is this. So if we break above the 533 area, target to the upside is $5.76. If we break under this area of 501, then 481 is the target to the downside, and it too has been trading in this area right close to this ATR trailing stop. I would definitely watch this 501 beyond that, because breaking that level is a key level of support for AMC. And Bank of America is also an inside day candle. So the trigger to the upside, if it break above 42.78, then 42.89 is the target. Below 42.14, then the target is 41.93 for a Bank of America. In phase, ENPH is also an inside day candle. If we break above, which we have already reached the target in pre-market for in phase, which is interesting. So the break above was 105.55. The target was 109.43. We've already made a high of 110.96 for in phase. Let's see. Yes, 110.99 area, 110.96 area. So if by chance we break under the 105.55, we've broken back under the trigger area. So let's say that 102.73 is an area that I will watch to the downside, and below the 102.73 is a target of 102.50 for in phase. It's interesting to watch these inside day candles, because again, it just gives us a guide, a possible target, and just to see it, pre-market reach those targets are interesting, right? Just to see how the stock will actually trade. GameStop is an inside day candle, so that's something to be mindful of today. If it breaks above 25.67, we just know the target is $26, and if it breaks under the 24.90, target to the downside is 24.37. So GameStop and AMC is something that may be interesting to watch today. Intel, INTC, is an inside day candle. If it breaks above 33.25, target to the upside is 33.43, and we have already broken through and reached the target to the downside. Once it broke under the 32.85 area, the target to the downside was 32.73, and we have made a pre-market low of 32.59. So are we going to find support here and bounce, or are we going to continue to the downside? So Intel, INTC is an inside day candle. Netflix is an inside day candle, and let's see, to the upside above 650.28 gives us a target here of 656.99 or 59, let's say, and under the 640.72, which we have broken under that. We've already broke through that trigger, 640.72. The target to the downside for Netflix is $632.58. And I wanted to see how much Netflix normally moves, on average $18.38 per day. And it is interesting to watch Netflix. If you trade Netflix, again, I say trade carefully. So reaching this downside target is very much possible for Netflix. Again, trade carefully, right? So let's see if we have another inside. Upstart, UPST, is an inside day candle. So above 28.37 gives us a target of 28.94. Below, which we right there at that trigger point, 27.22 gives us a target of 27.03, and we have already reached it, come down to 27.16. So we still have a little ways to go down for Upstart, but again, anything is possible. We can find support and bounce back to the upside. It is an inside day candle. So if I traded Upstart, I would say y'all trade carefully. And again, nothing is guaranteed in the market. Anything is possible, but nothing is guaranteed. So let's go back to the SPY just to see where we are. As a recap, SPY is at 548.83. You see, it came down and found support at this level that we had already marked at the 548.81. So that's why, I keep these levels marked on my chart, because if it's something that you trade often, you want to know where you're going to have trouble. I always ask myself, where are my trouble places, right? So if we break this area of 548.83, just know we can find support here at the 548.66 or around the 548.44 or the 548.35 area. So I would definitely watch the SPY. Again, it is gapping down, meaning there's going to be a gap to the upside. So if you trade the SPY today, I always say, y'all, wait on confirmation, and when it goes against your Y, get out. Trade carefully and very cautiously today. Again, I am so grateful and thankful. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. And if you could, please like and subscribe. It will really help. Yes, it will really help. I hope that everyone have a very, very profitable day today. And I always like to leave you with this: be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.